Scott.
Hi.
What is your biggest gaming regret?
Now, I'm not someone who lives with regrets. When we thought of kind of trying to come up with this, I was trying to think of, okay, is it something that I regret spending as much time on? Is it something that I put too much money into? Or whatever. And then my brain served up 4 little letters PSVR. Now, I don't mean to harm Mr. Josh Brown over there, one of the biggest VR advocates I've ever come across in my life, but I cannot argue with myself that spending that much money on a PlayStation VR only to have what was admittedly a very nice time in No Man's Sky and playing all those demos and everything. You know, I got bit by a digital shark and everything. It was very, very fun. But it's a lot of money. And if I'm going to go down the more objective route of what should I regret, it's probably the PlayStation VR. Now, I don't want to go down. I'm not going to go further down that route and say that it's all gimmicky and stuff. I believe you when you say that it's incredible, but it's a lot of money, Joe. And I've put so much money into the future of VR, and I just don't feel it. Don't see it.
Yeah, it's not the future, is it? No.
I don't. Well, No Man's Sky felt like it could be the future, but I need a lot more to it. And I doubly, that's what I would regret. I'm doubly more annoyed at myself that I almost bought a PlayStation VR 2, Josh Brown, to just try it again, to just do the whole thing all over again. So yeah, don't live with regrets myself. But if I did, it'd be wasting half a paycheck on a VR headset. It's in storage now. Lovely afternoon though.
And Josh.
Hello, Joe.
What is your biggest gaming regret?
Being mates with Scott Tilford for one. Biggest by far. But the second biggest, probably, honestly, this thing right here on the screen right now. Assassin's Creed Valhalla was the first Assassin's Creed that I bought in a long, long time. Ever. Imagine that. What a weird introduction. No, I missed out on Origins. I played a little bit of Odyssey, but only played about 20 hours and got my fill, and I thought, no, I want to return to Assassin's Creed. Valhalla looks really cool, getting a lot of good reviews. I like the setting. Let's jump in. And I had a really good time for 40 hours. I had a fun experience. And then came the realization that I was about 40 hours away from actually finishing the game, including the amount of side missions that I wanted to do. And really, my biggest regret is not stopping right there. I could have stopped there, had a good time, have fond memories of the game, and just moved on. But I'm one of those people who, if I start a game, especially a big one, I need to finish it, otherwise I'm going to think those 40 hours were not good enough. So I decided, no, it's an Assassin's Creed game. I've enjoyed this. Let's see what this story has to offer. Let's push myself, do the remaining 40 or 30 hours, and get through it. What a mistake. What an absolute... Oh, what a huge mistake that was. Just
Frown with the volume
I know, I'm going to break these levels here. Everything that you can possibly experience in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you can do in the first 20 hours. It's going to have nothing to give you after that in terms of story developments, in terms of new mechanics, in terms of things that you haven't already done. From a gameplay perspective, it just has nothing. It has nothing at all, and what a shame. I could have put that game down, saved those 40 hours, and like invested them into, I don't know, learning to ski. Learning to skateboard. 40 hours good, 40 hours bad. I don't know if that cancels each other out. I don't know what does that rate it out of 10?
40 hours okay? Nah.
My biggest gaming regret is the purchase of Halo 5 and an Xbox One to play Halo 5. I was a big Halo fan. I still consider myself a fan, but I was at my height of that on the lead up to Halo 5. I really enjoyed Halo 4. I know a lot of people didn't, but there was stuff about it that really worked for me, and I really liked some of the story beats. I was like, okay, this is really interesting. How are they going to follow that up in Halo 5? And the marketing was asking lots of interesting questions about Master Chief going AWOL and why that would be, and you're going to track him down. And there was a audio drama called Hunt the Truth, which was better than Halo 5 was, and it asked a load of questions about the moral code of Spartans and the people that created them. And I was like, wow, we're getting really deep into the Halo lore. We're asking some big questions. And then the game came out and the story was practically non-existent, and the parts of the story which were a story were just bad. Gameplay wise, it was kind of fun, but at launch, most of the multiplayer maps were just sort of like geometric shapes, like they've been made in the map maker. But Forge, the map maker, wasn't on the disc when it came out, so that made it more irritating. So yeah, I bought a console for that game, and I just remember that feeling of heartbreak, and like, wow, I've wasted £300 here and so much excitement, and it really let me down. And I continue to use my Xbox One, obviously, but none of the exclusives ever really landed for me. I never played much. Gears 4, I should probably get back to that. Cuphead, I didn't really stick with that. The only thing I really enjoyed was Rise of the Tomb Raider, And that wasn't really an exclusive, it was a timed exclusive. So yeah, when I got my PlayStation 4, I was like, look at all these games I missed because I swore allegiance to Halo 5 and it let me down.
All right then, Dan. I see you've got some
brought
little items there.
I brought props.
Got some regrets
So-
relating to those there items.
My biggest gaming regret is Pokemon. Now, I like Pokemon, as you can probably tell. But every few years, I go through this like phase of buying like a DS and getting the urge to play all the Pokemon games. And this has been going on for quite some time now, lads. And basically, I get the DS, 3DS, buy all the Pokemon games, play through them, get my fill's worth, and then sell it all. And recently, they announced the closure of the eShop store on the 3DS. And I had alarm bells going off my head. I'm like, wait, that means I can't get like the digital games again. I'll not be able to play them. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go and I'm going to buy a 3DS. And I'm going to just download the digital games, maybe get the like Pokemon Sun and Moon, Pokemon Omega Ruby and stuff like that. So I did all that, and then something in my brain was like, you should get the rest of the Pokemon games. And oh my god, okay.
You got Pokken Tournament, or you mean the regular?
No, just the regular DS ones. Okay. So I've got Heart Gold here, which...
We can digitally zoom on that.
Yeah, that's...
So just enhance.
£98 I spent on this.
£98?
Pokemon White 2. £80, okay, and that's not counting all the other games I've bought. So my regret is, as a child, having all these games multiple times and multiple systems like the Game Boys and the original DS and all that, and selling them then, not keeping them. Like, we've not even got into the Game Boy stuff yet, which I do want. I just checked, Pokemon Emerald is like £350.
No!
Yeah, I know. I don't know how my wife hasn't divorced us yet, but it's like sunk cost fallacy now. I'm in and I need the rest of them. And if I had just kept them from when I was a child, I'd not be £98 plus £80 down. Like, it's costing us so much money. Lads, help is. Yeah, Pokemon, I like it. But the thing now is, I've started like 6 different Pokemon games at once, and I'm just bouncing between them, and I'm just like, what do I do? So yeah, my regret is not keeping these games and buying them multiple times.
Disgusting. Joe Farm, what's your biggest gaming regret?
Well, you say you don't hold on to regrets,
No.
Scott, not a man who regrets things. And when it comes to gaming, I don't have like a great deal of regrets, mostly because, as I think you all know, I'm about sort of 3 or 4 years behind the curve. So like, I wait until every game costs a tenner and I already know that it's good. So basically every game I get a hold of is secondhand and is good. But if I did have one regret, I suppose, if I've got to pull a regret out of somewhere, it would be buying a Nintendo Switch.
Oh, I have no words for you, Joe. No words
Because-
the building.
Why?
Because I bought a Nintendo Switch in 2018, right? So when I first started working here, because I needed a new machine to work from home, so I traded in my old iMac in CEX. I was going to sell it, but then I was like, oh, if I trade it in, actually, I could get something decent. I could get I'll get a Nintendo Switch. Right, everyone goes on about the Switch. What a fantastic console, right?
Yeah.
And that was 2018. That was so a while ago. Do you know how many games I've completed on the Nintendo Switch?
0.
3.
Okay.
3 games on the Nintendo Switch, right?
Sounds like a you problem.
Yeah, and you know what they are? They are Super Metroid, which is not a Switch game. Hades, not exclusively a Switch game, and Katamari Damacy Reroll, a re-release of a PS2 game. Like. This Switch has offered me nothing.
Joe, come on.
I didn't even complete Breath of the Wild, because Breath of the Wild went from the joy of exploration to this kind of totally mechanical obligation of like, I should probably go over and explore there now. And I couldn't even get a full game out of the one game that sells the Nintendo Switch to everyone. And like, granted, it didn't cost me very much money. It's not a real regret, is it? Because like,
I think it's not a real console.
It's not a real console, like, but I just, I don't know. Maybe it is a me problem. You know, it's a me problem. Like,
You need
you know,
Mario,
it's.
Joe.
I don't need Mario.
You do.
I don't need Mario. Someone lend me a Mario game then.
Okay.
All right, let me Mario Odyssey.
Maybe you'll love it.
Well, maybe I will. Maybe I won't. But you know, will that make me go? Oh, I finally got my money's worth for that Switch.
It should.
I don't know. I'm not convinced.
Me neither, to be honest.
Alright geezer, it's Jules here talking about my biggest gaming regret. And this is a bit of a problem for me because I try not to live my life with regrets. I try to always think of them in the sense of if I've made a mistake, if there's been a problem in my life that's caused me grief or mental anguish, but I've come out the other side having learned something from that process, is it possible to have regrets on that? Yes, I'm sad it happened, but at the same time I'm in a better place now. But you know what? Let's try and dial it back from the existential crisis that I'm circling around and talk about a video game, one in particular that I definitely regret not playing earlier, and that is Shadow of the Colossus. Now, hands held high, I have only very recently, as of the last year, played this beautiful remastered version of this game, and you know what? I was an idiot for thinking when I was a kid, oh, this game doesn't look very good. Sure, it's beautiful, but there's only a handful of enemies in here, and they're the levels too. How is that going to hold my attention? Idiot, Jules, you stupid idiot, you stupid, bolden prick. Should have got on that game. Your life would have been all the better for it. But like I say, I played it now, and I'm very happy, as you can tell.